Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rachel Ann Ignacio, and my presentation is about supporting children's cognitive development. So before we start, let me define first what is cognitive development. Cognitive development means how children think, explore, and figure things out. It is the development of knowledge, skills, problem solving, and dispositions which help children to think about and understand the world around them. Brain development is part of cognitive development. Here's the video for you to understand more what is cognitive development.
Cognitive development is a field of study in neuroscience and psychology focusing on a child's development in terms of information processing, conceptual resources, perceptual skill, language learning, and other aspects of the developed adult brain and cognitive psychology. Qualitative differences between how a child processes its waking experience and how an adult processes his/her waking experience are acknowledged. Cognitive development is defined in adult terms as the emergence of ability to consciously cognize and consciously understand and articulate their understanding. From an adult point of view, cognitive development can also be called intellectual development. A large portion of research has gone into understanding how a child perceives the world. Jean Piaget was a major force establishing this field, forming his theory of cognitive development. Piaget proposed 4 stages of cognitive development: the sensorimotor, pre-operational, concrete operational and formal operational period. Many of Piaget's theoretical claims have since fallen out of favor. Still, his description of the most prominent changes in cognition with age is generally still accepted today. Perhaps equally importantly, Piaget identified and described many cognitive changes that must be explained, such as object permanence in infancy and the understanding of logical relations and cause-effect reasoning in school-age children. The many phenomena he described still attract the interest of many current researchers. In recent years, however, alternative models have been advanced, including information processing theory, neo-Piagetian theories of cognitive development, which aim to integrate Piaget's ideas with more recent models and concepts in developmental and cognitive science, theoretical cognitive neuroscience, and social constructivist approaches. A major controversy in cognitive development has been nature versus nurture, that is, the question if cognitive development is mainly determined by an individual's innate qualities, or by their personal experiences. However, it is now recognized by most experts that this is a false dichotomy. There is overwhelming evidence from biological and behavioral sciences that from the earliest points in development, gene activity interacts with events and experiences in the environment. Cognitive development and motor development may also be closely interrelated. When a person experiences a neurodevelopmental disorder and their cognitive development is disturbed, we often see adverse effects in motor development as well. Cerebellum, which is the part of brain that is most responsible for motor skills, has been shown to have significant importance in cognitive functions in the same way that prefrontal cortex has important duties in not only cognitive abilities but also development of motor skills. To support this, there is evidence of close co-activation of neocerebellum and dorsolateral prefrontal cortex in functional neuroimaging, as well as abnormalities seen in both cerebellum and prefrontal cortex in the same developmental disorder. In this way, we see close interrelation of motor development and cognitive development, and they cannot operate in their full capacity when either of them are impaired or delayed.
To promote your child's cognitive development, it is important that you actively engage in quality interactions on a daily basis. These are the examples to promote your child's cognitive development. The first one is talking with your baby and name commonly objects. For example, this is your shoes. This is your bottle. This is your dress. The concept of naming objects is very important to children. Labeling provides the child with more exposure to words that they are learning and provides a model for words that they will be learning. Second is, let your child explore toys and more about. Third is, spend time to your child, sing for them, and read books for them. Expose them to books and puzzle. Fourth is, knowing their interest. Expanding on your child interest in specific learning activities. For example, your toddler might show an early interest in dinosaurs, so you can take him or her on a trip to the National History Museum to learn more about the time that these creatures roamed the earth. Last is answering their question and their curiosity and guiding them. It is very important that parents and teachers take the time to listen to the question and honestly answer the question in the most age-appropriate way. It is the easiest way to help your child develop a deeper understanding of the world around him or her. Another way that you can foster your child's cognitive development is to provide him or her with choices and prompt him to make thoughtful decisions. You should also allow your child to explore different ways of solving problems. While you may want to provide some guidance and encouragement, allow your child some time to figure out things like a new puzzle. This may require some patience on your part, but it will ultimately help him to learn.
If we know exactly where a child is up to in their development, we can then target what we do specifically to what that child's needs are and what will take them to the next step of their development. We need to know how we can empower those people who spend the most time with young children to do things for the benefit of those children they're working with. My name is Stephen Howard. I'm an associate professor in the School of Education and theme leader for the Self-Regulation and Cognitive Development theme in Early Start. The Self-Regulation and Cognitive Development Research Group really looks at how children's self-regulation develops, why that's important, and what we can do to support it. So we know that self-regulation is important for right now. It's how we interact with the world. Can we sit still? Can we pay attention? That self-regulation ability is going to allow us to resist impulses and interact independently and productively in our world. And that's going to translate throughout our life as well. It means that we won't make as many risky choices as adolescents, and we'll engage more independently and productively in society as adults. So what we then need to know is what we can do to foster those abilities early on to set really good positive trajectories for young children. One study in particular that we've recently finished is a study with 50 preschools and nearly 500 children where we were looking at playful ways that we can support their self-regulation development. The sorts of games and activities we can do with young children in preschool over the course of a year, that at the end of the year we see those benefits that we're trying to realize. Self-regulation is a really fruitful area for research. Those coming into the field, there's still lots of work to be done. We're trying to tackle this work as best we can and as efficiently as we can. But of course, there's always room for collaborations from new researchers, from organizations who also have an interest and passion in this and want to try out with us and co-develop some of the things that we're looking at. If we're able to promote the self-regulation of our youngest generation now, in 20 years, we'll have a generation of young adults who can interact independently in the world, make choices that are considered rather than impulsive. That's really what we want for our young children, to be able to have productive and positive futures.